off NFL football pencils, man. Like they were commodities. And you tried to build your collection or whatever, man. And, yeah, the Dallas Cowboys one was one of the most coveted football pencils. Oh, man. So we're celebrating 1982 today on Throwback Thursday. Yeah. From Big Apple Bastard. So he says Carolina, Jacksonville, the new Cleveland Browns, and the new Houston Texans. That's right. So Cleveland left to another city, Baltimore. So technically, the Baltimore Ravens aren't a new team. So that's right. They got a new team in Cleveland. So technically, that's a new team. That's an added team to the 28. And then also, the Oilers left Houston. We talked about this yesterday. The Oilers left Houston and went to Tennessee, but then they got a new team. So that's it. Big Apple Bastard is exactly correct. Carolina, Jacksonville, Cleveland, the new Cleveland, and the new Houston Texans. Thank you, Big Apple Bastard. Yeah. That's right. That's exactly right. T-Dub says, therefore, it's Carolina, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Tennessee. It's not Indianapolis. Indianapolis is the Baltimore Colts. Right. So that's not a new franchise. That's just a franchise that moved from one town to the other. That's not a new franchise. So that's exactly right. Appreciate that, Big Apple Bastard. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Thanks for calling the show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Doug Stewart, T-Dub.
T-Dub, what's up, baby?
Hey, Big Apple Bastard actually wrong.
Okay.
Because Baltimore existed in the 80s. Cleveland existed in the 80s. So what you have is you have a new Carolina team out of Charlotte. You got
Sir, hold on. Stop. The Cleveland Browns been around since the 60s, bruh.
Exactly. I just said that. I said Cleveland existed. Right. So that city was already there. Baltimore was there, too. Now you have Baltimore and Cleveland that's there now. So it's not a new club in Baltimore and Cleveland. It's new teams,
right.
Logos.
Yeah.
But the cities were already there. The four new teams, if you go from 28 to 32, the four new teams are Carolina, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, which was the coast, and Tennessee. So you have four new cities. But Baltimore and Cleveland were already there back in the 80s, so you can't count them as new.
Yeah, but they're new. But Cleveland got a new team, though. Cleveland got a new team.
I get that.
The Cleveland, hold on. The Cleveland team is still in existence technically, but they're in Baltimore now as the Ravens.
Right, you're exactly right. But see, Baltimore was a team back then that is now in Indianapolis. So what you have is, in order for you to go from 28 to 32, you have to go with the cities. You can't go with because you didn't replace Baltimore literally. The team name changed, but it still was a football town. Cleveland was a football town. It
yeah,
was
but T-Dub, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show.
I ain't hiding from my boss at all.
Hold on 1 second. You're right. Cleveland left. This is back to this point again. Cleveland left. Cleveland came to Baltimore, but there's a new franchise. It's not like Cleveland left and never came back, or they left and that was it. They left and were replaced by a new Cleveland Browns. You get where I'm coming from? My point is when there was one franchise, whether it was Cleveland in Cleveland and then Cleveland went to Baltimore, there became two. There became two. The Cleveland Browns are in Baltimore, and technically there's another new team that's in Cleveland as well.
Yeah, but you said it was 28 franchises, right?
Right.
Okay, when we were small in the 70s and late 80s, early 80s. Now there's 32.
Right.
Okay, was Baltimore there in the 80s? Just the city itself. Was Baltimore there?
No.
Different name.
No.
Different name. Yeah, it was Baltimore Colts.
No. The Baltimore Colts were there. They left and they went to Indianapolis.
Right. Okay. Right. So you didn't lose a team. You gained Indianapolis. You didn't lose Baltimore because guess what? Now you have a Baltimore Ravens.
I don't know, man. Damn, I don't know. Shit. You confusing me. Matt Ninja in the chat room says this phone call sounds like a math equation. Nah. Big Apple, T-Dub, I think I'm going with Big Apple. I kind of get where you're coming from, but I think Big Apple summed it up better. You have two new franchises that weren't there, they didn't move or anything like that because of the team from the original city left and a new team was created. All right, so I guess technically you could say, instead of saying the Cleveland Browns was a new team, you could say the Ravens were a new team. I guess I kind of get that. But as far as what was the other team? Oh, the Tennessee Titans. The Texans are definitely a new team, and I'm not sure if T-Dub was trying to say that or not in his call. But the Texans are a new team. The Houston team left and went to Tennessee. They're still around. Technically, you could use vice versa. You can use switch them around. The Oilers and the Titans. We spend too much time on this shit. Tiffany Poole in Portland says this call is coming from inside the studio. I guess T-Dub might be at his job and he was whispering. But thank you, T-Dub, in any account. I guess ultimately, to put a bow on this, is I was right. This whole conversation came from when I was a little boy. I remember specifically there were 28 teams in the NFL, and there's 32 now. And so definitely, clearly, Jacksonville and Carolina were added to. That made 30. I guess you can, depending on how you look at it, you can say the new Cleveland Browns. You can say, or the Baltimore Ravens. You can say, you understand what I'm saying? Because the Colts left, and the Colts are still around. They were there. Whether it was Indianapolis or Baltimore, the Colts were there. You understand what I'm saying? So I wouldn't count them. But I would count Baltimore that wasn't there. I guess you could technically count Baltimore that wasn't there, the Ravens. And no, I wouldn't do that. No, Big Apple Bastard is right. And I'm sorry I'm spending so much time on this. Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, T-Dub. The Baltimore Ravens are, in effect, the Cleveland Browns. That's not a new franchise. We're talking about new franchises that added to the 28 number to make 32. And that would be the Texans. Okay? That would be the Texans. And that would be the Titans because they changed the name. Okay? Those are two new names. So whether it's because of the city or the mascot or the logo or whatever, you have two new names, two new franchises, same thing, two new names, or two new franchises in the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans, added with the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jan from Snellville says, so to sum it up, T-Dub, but 4 new teams and cities. Laughing my ass off. Right. I mean, really, you can't pay attention to the cities because the Baltimore and Cleveland thing. But at the end of the day, the 4 new teams to the NFL that weren't there, the new teams that weren't there in 1979 when I was a little boy, okay, are the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Carolina Panthers, the Houston Texans, and the Tennessee Titans. There you have it. So T-Dub comments, since he couldn't get on the phone call, I shot his ass off. He says, so T-Dub is right. Oilers are technically the Texans. No, they're not. The Oilers are the Titans. The Oilers are the Titans. They're not the Texans. This is what we do here on the Doug Stewart Show, man. Yeah. Sidney Jackson says it should be expansion teams that were added. Texans, Jags, Browns, Panthers. Texans, Jags, Panthers, and Browns, and Panthers. There might be some merit to that. It might be. I'm not exactly sure. I've really spent way too much time for that. I hadn't even had a chance to talk about 1982 and the movies and all of that stuff. I got to do that. I had planned to do that until we got bogged down with this. 1982, E.T. movie came out. Remember the phrase, E.T. phone home. Also that year, Raid Kills Bugs Dead was the first time we ever heard that. And They're Here. Heather O'Rourke in Poltergeist. You remember Poltergeist, the movie? All of that happened back in 1982. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yeah, you can't go by the city. You have to go by the franchise, the name. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you try to do it by the city, it's too confusing because of Baltimore and Cleveland and Tennessee and Houston. So you have to go by a new team name. The old team names are still around. If you're talking about Baltimore, the Colts, and the Browns. If you talk about old franchises that were included in that 28, the Colts and the Browns are still part of that 28. So you have to do it by the new team and name, identifying yourself as a new team franchise, which are the Texans, the Titans, the Panthers, and the Jaguars. Back in 3 minutes.
Ways of the world, ways of the war. My words are direction, thoughts put down for perfection, for dead in minds, resurrection, for hard heads a lesson, towards the feeling, true confessions, daily movement, progression, handle minds with aggression, respect my essence not to get caught in intersections, like a lethal weapon, or safety for protection, here today be here for tomorrow, granted like words and scriptures for you to follow, pay attention, not all man's have good intentions, likely to stay in one dimension, put in place with discretion, know you're rating this one, see how deep things get, pure elevation, set it off to cure a nation. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Granted like words and scriptures for you to follow. My man. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Granted like words and scriptures for you to follow. My bra. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Granted like words and scriptures for you to follow. My seed. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Cock this so it's balance the bullets. We all holding full clips. Ways of the world forever. Keep my peeps in bullshit. Drama that. Another episode of the habitat. You see it ill and abstract. We live it real and that's that. Reality fact. See your brother lying on his back and another brother holding the gap. Cain and Abel had they beef a while back. Not for everything. Niggas should react. Bodies dumped out on the floor like a Roots video. You gotta see the show. You not living like you want more. My brother is my keeper. Spray your block with street sweeper. Heard the code of the sleeper. Why you wanna live how wide for Grim Reaper? Live your life. Get the thumping through your speaker. Only the few come around with a chosen run. You still have wits when I hold for bun. Of course I never think twice about busting. You only get spared one cousin. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Granted like words and scriptures for you to follow. My man. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Granted like words and scriptures for you to follow. My bra. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Granted like words and scriptures for you to follow. My seed. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Here today, be here for tomorrow. Ways of the world, ways of the war, ways of the cold, ways with no heart, ways of the world, ways of the war, ways of the cold.